This atmospheric landscape shares its name with the Isle made famous in the legends of King Arthur. Now, there's not much chance of me spotting the Lady of the Lake today, but people do come here from far and wide in the hope of catching a glimpse of something special. Find out where I am in just a few moments. Today's property search is all about shifting priorities.
You've always got to compromise when buying a place.
You can't believe how much I love it when I hear people say, you've always got to compromise.
It's the kind of guy I am.
And do you have? So will any of our properties fulfil our house hunters' dreams? Nice views, yes, good sized garden.
Nice views, good garden, yeah, plenty of space.
Could you imagine living here?
I think so.
Today I'm in Somerset and these are the Avalon Marshes near Glastonbury. Over 100 species of birds have been spotted here, including the elusive bittern. And they're also home to one of the largest reed beds in the country. As well as being a thriving wildlife habitat, this place is also embedded in the story of our past. Prehistoric settlements dating back 6,500 years have been found here. And these captivating wetlands aren't the only gem that this county has to offer. Somerset is a county in the southwest of England, with boundaries little altered since the Middle Ages. Its coastline faces Wales across the Bristol Channel, whilst it borders 5 counties, including Devon and Dorset. The diverse coastline includes the seaside resort of Burnham-on-Sea, popular during Victorian times due to its sandy beach. But the shifting banks and flats here are less popular with sailors, and there are said to have been many shipwrecks, particularly at Gore Sands. Interesting geological features continue inland, with Britain's biggest gorge at Cheddar, where the cliffs rise up to 450 feet above sea level. Along with its natural landscapes, the county also features historic architecture. The ruins of the Abbey at Glastonbury date to medieval times, whilst the nearby St Michael's Tower, atop Glastonbury Tor, is all that survives of the 14th century church, demolished during the 16th century dissolution of the monasteries. The area is even considered to be the legendary site of King Arthur's tomb. So with its combination of stunning geography, wonderful wildlife and legendary landscapes, it's no surprise that Somerset is a popular county to plan an escape to. Broadly speaking, the average price of a detached property here in Somerset reflects the national figure of £290,000. However, the northern parts of the county do tend to be more expensive because they're closer to cities like Bath and Bristol and have good access to the coast and also the rest of the country. If you want more for your money, then head south towards the borders of Dorset and Devon. The larger, more sought-after villages will carry a small premium, but smaller ones are more affordable and still close to everything you need. So where are today's couple looking to call home? Let's meet them and find out. Today's house hunters are Mark and Sue, a husband and wife from Bow in London's East End. Mark has recently retired from banking and Sue is slowly scaling back her insurance job in the city. But it was in the school playground more than 30 years ago where they first got together.
We actually met in the sixth form at school. We were mates for a while before we started going out. I think the turning point was one day we were playing football in the playground and I sprained my ankle.
Yeah. I came to the rescue.
Yeah. Our eyes met across a crowded football pitch.
Home for the last 18 years has been a 2-bedroom flat in a converted match factory. It's somewhere that has strong connections for these born and bred East Enders.
We both had families that worked in the match factory when it was a match factory back in the early 1900s. My family were all from around here as well.
But despite their roots in the area, the couple feel the time is right to move on.
I didn't think either of us would move out of East London, let alone London.
Since we got the Olympics awarded, it's now become such a trendy place to live. It's changed enormously. The amount of building work that's going on is unbelievable. Each month that goes by, I think we find more reasons to want to move than to want to stay.
And when it comes to making the move to more rural surroundings, Mark and Sue have got one particular place in mind.
Where we're looking to move is around South Somerset, so on the border of North Dorset and East Devon.
There's more rural areas there than there are elsewhere, which is obviously what we're after.
Just because of the open space, also looking at sort of the neighbouring areas, they seem to get better value for money in that part of the country in South Somerset. When we move out, we'll have more time, so you can start looking at other hobbies, whether it be cider making, beer making,
Jam making.
yeah.
Chutneys. One of the things I really feel like I need is a garden.
We might even end up getting some chickens, so we'll have sort of fresh eggs all the time, start growing your own vegetables.
But most of all, it's about leaving behind the busy city streets for the peace of a countrified backdrop.
We just both want a quieter lifestyle and just spend more time exploring sort of the countryside.
And just sitting outside, looking at the stars and things like that that you can't do in the city.
Mark and Sue are looking to move to the south of the county of Somerset, anywhere below Yeovil, but would also consider neighbouring regions of Dorset or Devon. But before I show them some of the properties on offer, I'm meeting them in their Somerset search area to hear more about the country home they're hoping to find.
Morning, you two.
Morning.
Welcome to Somerset.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What are you looking for from your home down here?
Sort of 3-bedroom, detached, quiet village with a pub and a local shop, hopefully. Bigger kitchen and bigger garden.
Yeah, reasonable sized garden, because I think not having had one for 18 years, we'd like to get into it and maybe, you know, have a few fruit trees and grow a bit of veg, that type of thing.
What about when you pull up outside the house? What do you envisage seeing? What do you want it to look like?
It'd be nice to have somewhere when you do get there, you look and you think, oh, that's lovely, but whether it's because it's really old or it's just a bit quirky or, you know, just different, I don't know. We're not really too fixated on any specific style or anything.
Something with a bit of character would be nice. We're quite open to it being thatched or not thatched. We really don't mind either, so...
Well, it's good. You give me a lot to work with. So you're open to things, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's about the house feeling right, less than what it looks like or even where it is. It's just about it feeling right for you too.
Yeah.
It's more about the location, actually,
Yeah,
as in
the
feel of the village and the setting of the house. You know, if we could have some nice views, that would be fantastic. And obviously, you're stuck with the views and you're stuck with the village. The house you can play around with.
Now, remind me of the budget that we've got for this search.
Our budget's 450,000 top limit. I mean, ideally, we'd like to spend a little bit less, around more like the 400. We don't have a deadline. We're not panic buying. We're just going to wait until we get the thing we really want.
I'm pleased to say we've got some very exciting properties to show you.
Good.
Excellent.
Are you ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Come on.
Let's go.
For a maximum budget of £450,000, Mark and Sue would like a detached property with 3 bedrooms. They're open to new or old houses, but would like something with character. Location is key and should offer a village community and country views. And after 18 years without one, they'd really like a garden. We've got a great selection of properties to tempt them with, and at each I'll be asking them to guess the price before I reveal it. The final offering, of course, is our mystery house, where our couple's search may take a surprising turn. Our property search is taking us to the outskirts of the market town of Yeovil and a 5-minute drive from the large village of West Coker. Facilities in West Coker include a butcher's and post office and a garage with a shop. There's a choice of places to eat and drink with 2 inns, a wine bar and a hotel bar and brasserie. Many of the picturesque houses in the village are built from hamstone, a local Jurassic limestone with a distinctive honey colour. Our property is located a short drive from here in a quiet cul-de-sac on the western edges of Yeovil.
What's your first thoughts?
Impressed.
Yeah, it's a nice looking
Yeah.
house.
Looks lovely.
Looks
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
It does. It looks like it's got a lot of character.
Yeah.
It's all really done really nicely.
Yeah.
And it's done really nicely inside. So let's take a look and just see the space that's on offer.
Yeah.
Is something
Okay.
that's going to really appeal to the two of you coming from a two-bedroom flat in London. Come on.
This L-shaped detached home was built in 1975 using reconstituted stone and has character features like mullion windows. The front door leads into the hallway, from which all the rooms fan off.
So straight into a good-sized entrance hall, and then, as you'd expect from those impressions you got outside, a nice big kitchen.
That's lovely. It
Very
really
nice.
is.
Yeah, lovely, very nice.
It's got some lovely old touches.
How does it compare for size with your current kitchen?
It is about 6 times as big.
And it's made even bigger, of course, by this extension at the back. So let's go and take a look at that. It's a lovely space. So this was added on just to really open up the kitchen space.
Cool.
That lovely high ceiling. And it looks out all the way on 3 sides round onto the garden.
It's really lovely. I can imagine sitting in here, and that's what we want really, somewhere where we can do different things but be in the same room, that kitchen and this area.
Yeah, it flows.
We'd be in here the whole
nicely,
time, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But this actually isn't the only living space. There's another cosy sitting room. So follow me.
A great reaction to the kitchen and dining space, to the side of which we also find a downstairs cloakroom and useful utility room. Then that additional reception room lies back at the front of the property and is triple aspect.
Now, I know you're fans of open-plan living, but this is a lovely alternative for those cold winter's nights, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lovely fireplace.
Yeah, it has got that really cosy feel,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
yeah.
It's nice because it's got windows on 3 sides, which makes it light and airy.
Yeah.
And it's got the beams, which give
got
it
the
the
beams,
character.
Yeah, it's a really nice room.
Well, this is one of the reasons we wanted to show you this property. Because it's a modern house, the rooms do have those really good proportions that I know you're used to, certainly from your living space in London.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to bedrooms, you said you'd be happy with 3. We've managed to get 4 on this, so shall we take a wander up? Thank you.
Thank you.
The space on offer in this extensive detached home is making an impression on Mark and Sue so far. Let's see what they make of upstairs, where a landing snakes past 4 double bedrooms. 2 lie to the front of the house above the sitting room, 1 for guests and the other a study. The family bathroom is at the rear, sandwiched between the other 2 bedrooms. There's a large twin with its own ensuite, and that just leaves the 4th and final bedroom, which Mark and Sue could choose to use as their master.
And this is just one of the rooms I thought was really pretty. Good-sized ensuite in there.
I don't think this has got the personalisation that it's got downstairs. This is like walking into a sort of hotel room. It's just a nice, plain room. That's it, really.
Seems a bit small as well. I think downstairs was so impressive and very big.
And yes, you haven't got as much character up here, but it's about balancing off, isn't it, what matters?
Definitely, yeah.
I know a good-sized garden was on the wish list, so let's head down and explore this one, and I need you also to start thinking about the price.
Despite having 1 more bedroom than they asked for, as well as 3 bathrooms, Mark and Sue's enthusiasm seems to have dipped. Outside, there's an integral garage to look at, as well as gardens to the front, the rear and the side, featuring areas of lawn, alongside flower beds and mature shrubs and trees. There's also a large deck seating area just off the downstairs extension.
What do you think? Is this about the size of garden you had in mind?
It's perhaps a tad on the small side.
I'd say a bit more than a tad. Actually.
Right.
Quite a lot.
Yeah, I think we're probably looking for a reasonable amount more than this, don't you?
Where we could sort of put our own stamp on it, perhaps.
Obviously, the extension has eaten into quite a lot of the garden space.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's big enough for what we were after.
I wasn't sure if you were going from nothing. I thought, maybe you didn't want to go too much.
If you're going to go for it, go for it properly.
So how much do you think this property is on the market for?
425.
OK.
I reckon perhaps a little bit less than that, maybe 410, 420.
You're both under, because it's on the market, bang on budget, £450,000.
Right.
The downstairs is really good.
Oh, that's
We
perfect.
really like the downstairs.
If you could pop that in a, another house, in a bigger garden, that's lovely.
Listen, don't write it off. Go inside, take another look around, and just, see if you could imagine yourselves there, and I'll come and find you.
Okay,
Thanks.
Right on budget, this generous, detached stone property has many of the things our buyers have asked for. The large kitchen with additional living space in the extension offers the open-plan living that they love. Whilst upstairs, there's plenty of accommodation. There are 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. There's also a single garage plus gardens to 3 sides. And the peaceful location gives easy access to both countryside and all the amenities they could wish for.
As we walked up, I thought the house looked absolutely fantastic. The downstairs, I think, is really great. It's almost perfect. The kitchen and the through dining room is ideal.
The garden just wasn't big enough for us, really. On the whole, very nice place, but I don't think it's going to be right for us.
You seen enough?
Yeah, I think so.
We've got more to see. Come on.
From cheddar cheese to cider, Somerset has a reputation for good, honest fare made from local produce. As Mark and Sue are keen to grow their own here, as well as explore some new culinary skills.
Strawberries years ago when the war was on, and then in the 80s, my dad kept growing the strawberries and decided to put some pumpkins in as well.
Pumpkins are thought to originate from the American continent, and Christopher Columbus is believed to have carried seeds with him back to Europe. This Chris grows a couple of different varieties on his Somerset farm, but Mark and Sue are picking out a large orange jack-o'-lantern, which can be used both for carving at Halloween and also for eating.
Right, so what are you doing with this pumpkin?
We're going to make some chutney.
Ah, right, I see. Right, well, we've got one here, look. He's a bit green on one side, but you give that one a tap. Does that sound hollow?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that one would be a good one then to make some chutney out of.
Cool, yeah. This is
It's a
weighty.
Yeah, you should make a lot of chutney out of that one.
Excellent.
With a gourd that's good to go, they're now heading to a cookery school in South Petherton, where teacher Angela Langford is ready to meet them.
Hello. Hello, hi.
Hello, Angela.
Hi.
Just picked this pumpkin fresh this morning and would like you to show us how to make some chutney.
I'd love to show you. It's a mighty pumpkin.
It certainly is.
Angela starts by getting them to chop some onion. This is put into a bowl along with crushed garlic, finely chopped ginger and fresh red chilli, as well as some crushed cardamom pods.
Lovely. That's probably enough, actually, because it's quite a strong spice. OK, so then we've got apples to go in it, as we're in Somerset. We must have apples.
And then to prepare their star ingredient.
Right.
How do we tackle that?
How do we tackle that? Just take a nice big slice out.
The pumpkin is then cubed.
That's really easy to cut now.
Some spices are toasted in a griddle pan, including black and yellow mustard seeds, cinnamon, bay leaves, star anise, and cumin seeds.
Can you start to smell they're releasing their flavours?
Then the chopped onion mixture is fried off in a large deep pan with some vegetable oil, along with the toasted spices and some ground turmeric.
That's going to give it a bit of flavour, but also lovely colour as well.
Then in goes the cubed apple and pumpkin and a good helping of brown sugar.
So this is cider vinegar, because obviously we want to keep it local.
Finally, it's seasoned with salt and pepper before bringing to the boil and leaving to simmer for around 40 minutes.
OK, I think that looks about ready.
And of course, the ideal way to enjoy locally grown, home-cooked chutney is with some cheddar cheese and biscuits.
Yeah, it's got a really lovely kick to it. It's really lovely. Really
Quite
good.
sweet as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
You have to take some back to London with you.
Thank you.
Good luck with your search.
Thank you very much.
With a new local recipe under their belt, it's time to take stock of the Somerset journey so far before our buyer's property search gears up again tomorrow. Mark and Sue from Bow in London's East End have up to £450,000 to fulfil their dream of countryside living in or around Somerset. So far, they've liked what we've offered them inside, but are still looking for their dream country garden. But there's more to see, and the mystery house could well put a twist in the tale.
You look quite taken aback.
Yeah, I was just stunned, really. It just wasn't what I was expecting at all.
And I'll be visiting a 14th century barn and discovering what was all the rage in late medieval flooring.
The mucus in the mule is really what helps get it all gluing together.
How charming. It's the second day of our house hunt here in Somerset, and our couple are definitely open to the style of property they're looking for. In fact, after yesterday, I now think the garden is more important to them than the house itself. So I have high hopes for today's two houses. They both have good-sized gardens. They're very different in character, and I think our couple may think the mystery house is a home from home.
Our house hunt is venturing 13 miles west of Yeovil to a pair of South Somerset villages known as the Sevingtons. The collective facilities of the villages of Sevington St Michael and Sevington St Mary include a shop and cafe run by local volunteers and a pub which brews its own beer. There's a church in each village, although the Grade 2 listed St Michael's is the only one that remains active. We're in the middle of the sister village of St Mary, where I have a rather picturesque proposition that Mark and Sue may find hard to resist.
Oh, that's lovely.
Is that your cup of tea?
Yeah, definitely.
It's exactly what you'd expect to see in a little village like this. It's really nice. It's your picture postcard cottage, isn't it? So it's lovely.
Do you want to have a look
promising.
inside? Should we bother?
Shall we?
Shall we? Oh, yeah, come on, let's go and take a look.
Might as well, while we're here.
This largely 17th century Grade 2 listed semi-detached cottage was built from local ham stone. Recently renovated throughout, it's currently presented unfurnished. The front door, below a thatched porch, takes us into a long hall where the original features are immediately apparent.
Oh. So yeah, you come straight through into this lovely entrance hall, packed with character, and then this original oak panelling, which you've got the old maker's marks down at the bottom, down there. Oh. And all that character and the original features carry on in here in the living room. You can see the renovation has been done incredibly sympathetically, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing would be the beams and the height of the ceiling.
The fact is, it is a character property. It's got all those lovely features that you love, but with that comes things like lower ceilings. Should we take a look at the kitchen?
Yeah.
OK, thanks.
The kitchen is housed in a later rear extension and is large enough for a table and chairs.
So in contrast, the kitchen is very bright and light, with a good ceiling height.
A good contrast.
Yeah. This is nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is nice and bright, and
Nice views, looking outside,
Yeah.
plenty of windows.
it's got so much character. It's amazing.
Didn't think we'd see something with this amount of character.
Well, that's great. Well, let's go upstairs and take a look at the bedrooms upstairs and see if this good vibe continues.
A resounding vote of approval for this quintessentially quirky cottage. And the character and calm just continue as we head upstairs to the two-bedroomed, one-bathroom accommodation.
Again, the original oak beams, round into the bathroom. That's just recently been done with its roll-top bath. I thought that'd get an oh wow.
The two double bedrooms are located to the front of the cottage, with the smallest again boasting a bounty of character features. And then there is the largest of the bedrooms.
And in here, into the master bedroom. With its original panelling, its original beams, those lovely deep windows.
Yeah, this is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's really good. And I like the grate and the beams.
Yeah.
And the height of the ceilings.
I know that ideally you were looking for 3 rooms. How do you feel now you know that it's a 2-bedroomed house?
The only thing I am wondering is about storage up here.
You've always got to compromise when buying a place. So if it's 2 bedrooms, then you might have to live with that.
You can't believe how much I love it when I hear people say, you've always got to compromise.
It's the kind of guy I am.
And do you have? Well, let's go and explore outside and just see what's going on out there.
Outside, Mark and Sue may find they don't have to compromise as much as they may think, but there's also a converted stone stable on offer. Divided into a WC and another larger room, it's a versatile bonus that could be converted and used for guest accommodation. The enclosed front garden is full of country colour, whilst the rear garden backs onto open countryside and includes a patio area plus a small orchard. There's also a former cart house that now provides a triple carport, and I'm hoping all the elements and space up for grabs here will be enough.
How's the garden for size?
Better?
It's nice, and I think as well, because you've got the fields at the back, you feel like you've got a huge garden.
What do you think about the idea of having your own mini orchard?
That's brilliant. I love that.
Lots of apple pies.
Oh, yeah, lots of apple pies.
Well, you can't come and live in Somerset and have an apple tree or two, can you? I think there's probably something written in the local law about that, I'm sure. So I need you to guess the price. What do you think this is on the market for?
I think it's going to be quite expensive, so I'm going to go 445.
445?
Yeah.
430.
430, OK. That's interesting. You're both off the mark. It's on the market for £375,000.
God.
No!
I'm amazed at that.
Yeah.
OK, well, that's good. I can tell. I can see now your minds are just whirring over.
Yeah, it's ticking.
Yeah.
So go in, take a really good look around and just think about how you'd use the space and what the potential is.
OK.
Rightio.
Fantastic.
The asking price of this Grade 2 listed, fully renovated thatched cottage would leave Mark and Sue a generous £75,000 to create their perfect home. The original features, including beams and an inglenook fireplace, ooze country charm, whilst the new kitchen offers stylish modern convenience. There are outbuildings that could potentially be converted, as well as a good-sized garden, and it's all located in a thriving village.
But all this, I mean, we wouldn't really need all this as car parking because we've only got the one car. But
Yeah. Well, you can block this off.
a bit overwhelming, really, this part.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do.
Yeah. I think it's lovely from the first time you see it outside with a thatched roof and little country garden in the front. It just looks gorgeous. And then you walk in and all the wood and the big fireplace and the window seats and then the really nice kitchen. It's absolutely brilliant. Got so much character.
The budget surprised both of us, and that will give us money then to perhaps do something with the outside building and perhaps have a 3rd bedroom or a games room. And the outside looks really good. I mean, the views from the back of the garden and having your own trees in there.
It's one of those houses that you feel like you just immediately want to say yes. It's definitely one that we're going to think about, yeah.
I was just stood here thinking how chocolate box pretty all of this is.
It is. You couldn't get anything nicer, could you?
No, it's given us lots to think about.
Yeah, how are you both feeling?
Oh, confused.
OK. And we've still got the mystery house to come, so the confusion could increase, who knows?
It will.
Somerset is a county steeped in rural history, but as with the rest of England, the ownership and management of its landscape has a turbulent history. During the Middle Ages, almost half of all English land was owned by the king and nobility, or bishops and abbots who shared noble status. In the 14th century, the abbey at Glastonbury was one such estate, and the second wealthiest in the country. That was all to change a couple of centuries later, when King Henry VIII seized lands for the crown, or sold them off to fund his military campaigns. Fast forward to the 1970s, the estate had become a dairy farm, and its striking 14th century former Abbey barn donated to Somerset County Council, who developed it into a museum celebrating rural life. It's currently undergoing major renovation, and Tom Maybury from the South West Heritage Trust is in charge of the project. I've come to meet him in the farm's courtyard.
So just tell me about the plans for what's happening around us and what it's all going to look like in a couple of years' time.
On one side of us is the Abbey barn from the middle of the 14th century. Then there are the cowsheds around us here from the 19th century. All those spaces are being reinvented so that we can tell Somerset's farming story chiefly from Victorian times up to more or less the modern day.
So working with a building like the Abbey barn must present some huge challenges for you.
We're very lucky in the South West Heritage Trust to have our own conservation team, so we do have the skills, but you're quite right. There are all kinds of protections on a building like that, and so we have to make sure that we do the right thing. And of course there are our permanent guests here, like the bats in the roof space of the Abbey barn. We've got to make sure that we treat them properly and according to the law as well. We've got our conservation team working on a solution for how we make a more durable floor in there, but pay tribute to the ancient qualities of the building. So perhaps you'd like to go and take a look.
Sounds fantastic. I look forward to it.
Yes.
Thanks so much for talking to me.
Right.
Bye.
Back in the 14th century, this Grade 1 listed barn was used to store the Abbey's estate harvest and thresh grain. It was also an opportunity for the abbot to show off his wealth by ordering the finest craftsmanship of the time. So how does Nick Wall, the Senior Conservation Officer, plan to make an authentic floor that will withstand thousands of modern-day visiting feet, but also stays true to the centuries-old building methods?
How do you know what would have been used and what materials would have been used on it?
We're largely using archaeological investigations, studying the building itself, and also looking at other buildings around it of a similar period. And we want to put back a threshing floor and earth floors in the nave part. Having studied floors elsewhere, we know that's the kind of floor that a barn of this status and use would have had. So here we're doing the lime ash floor.
The main filler material is natural clay, to which lime and ash are added, and to keep it authentic, a good helping of manure.
The mucus in the manure is really what helps get it all gluing together.
How charming.
Yes, the mucus and the lime. We've got some little extras as well. This is some milk gone off nice and sour, and we have some eggs. So
Look.
they're going to, again, be another bonder and make the mix more workable.
Here goes. Just chuck them in?
Just chuck them in.
Nice, they're not smashing. Ah, that's better. Nice, that looks, it's really sour, isn't it? Sour and thick and nasty.
After a good stir in the traditional mixing mill, our organic foundation layer is ready for use.
Yes, we'll pour this in now, and then we just need to squish it in place. And this will be the first layer that goes in.
Should we chuck it in? There we go. Ooh.
Okay.
After pouring, the next stage is to spread and tamper it into place.
We want a nice dry mix, but it does mean you've got to keep going until it clumps together nicely.
You've given a big chunk of your life to this project. What's it going to be like when you see it filled with people?
Oh, it'd be lovely. People will actually really enjoy it for a long time and come away with lovely memories of the building.
It's going to be really special, and this is a building that it definitely needs to be celebrated, doesn't it?
Oh, it definitely does.
From wealthy beginnings through turbulent times, it's heartening to know that this medieval gem will soon be enjoying a new lease of life for all to appreciate here in the Somerset countryside.
How do you feel about making the move here from London now we've spent some time here and started to look at some properties?
I think it's just convinced us even more that we are doing the right thing. The whole place is just lovely, you know, you don't really go through anywhere that doesn't have stunning scenery, and villages are lovely. Just can't wait, really.
We've just got to find you a house.
Exactly.
That's it, yeah.
Let's hope the mystery house is the one, hey?
So,
Our mystery house strays out of our search area, taking us into the depths of Dorset, within 2 miles of the Jurassic coast, to the village of Portisham. Located in an area rich in prehistoric remains, this lovely village features a pub with dining and accommodation, a village hall, a doctor's surgery, and a medieval church. The small stream runs by pretty, mainly limestone cottages, one of which, during the 18th century, was home to Sir Thomas Masterman Hardy, a commander under Lord Nelson at the Battle of Trafalgar. Like many other local residents, he affectionately referred to the village as Pawsome. Wrapped within this historic village, the unexpected character of our mystery proposition is cloaked from view.
What do you think you're going to find beyond that gate?
I don't know.
We could do better than
A nice old stone-built house. I don't know.
Oh, OK. Are you
Got no
intrigued?
idea. Yeah.
Let's go and get that gate opened and see what we can see. So let's push open this big gate, and in we come.
That's different.
It's different, isn't it? You've got this kind of secret courtyard garden, and then this very modern property built in a horseshoe shape all around it.
Oh, right.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's really different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Different in a good way.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you are keen for me to open the door and take a look inside. Let's go and have a look.
Built in 2004, this unique and contemporary mystery house provides single-storey accommodation arranged in a horseshoe and delivers the type of open-plan living space Mark and Sue are used to in their London home.
It made me think of the property you're both in now, because it's a blend of old and new. It's got high ceilings. You're expecting old, but it's this really interesting modern property.
Yeah, you're right. It is, in that respect, it is really similar.
What about the kitchen and this open plan feel generally?
That's great for us. That's what we're used to.
Yeah. On a much bigger scale here.
This is a much bigger scale, a much bigger kitchen.
Yeah.
You can see there is loads of
space.
room.
And you get an even better sense of all the space and the light when you come through into this side of the living area.
It's really nice. It's because you sit there and you've got light coming in on both sides, and there's so many windows.
We like the sort of the windows we got at home and the high ceilings, and you've got that here as well. So.
But we don't have such a nice view at the moment. We overlook a railway line.
Yeah. No, this would work.
You look quite taken aback.
Yeah, I was just stunned, really. It just wasn't what I was expecting at all. I don't know what I was expecting, but not this.
The sleeping accommodation is located to either side of the central living space. To one end is the large double bedroom, presently set up as a twin.
Yeah, it's taken a little bit of getting used to the fact that it's something completely unexpected.
I know the garden matters to both of you.
Yeah.
So let's go and explore the garden and just take a look at the views outside.
Okay.
Thank you.
The surprising layout of our mystery offering may be causing our buyers some confusion. But with exterior plot size so important to the two of them, I think they'll find the quarter-of-an-acre garden a more straightforward delight. A hedged and landscaped area includes established fruit trees. Plus, there's secure off-road parking for several cars, along with a large workshop.
So how is this for size for you? Could you fit your vegetable plot in here?
I think so.
Yeah, I think the garden is a really nice size.
Yeah.
Nice views.
Yeah.
It's a good-sized
nice
garden.
views, good garden. Yeah, plenty of space.
What do you think this property's on the market for?
Go on. You go
I've
first.
got absolutely no idea. 450.
I'm going over budget. 475.
OK, Mark, I'm afraid that you're wrong. Sue, you are absolutely right. It's on the mark. £450,000.
Definitely got to think about that, haven't we?
Yeah.
Go and have another look around and come and find me when you're ready.
OK.
Right on budget, the contemporary horseshoe-shaped mystery house could just be the surprise lucky find of Mark and Sue's house hunt. The open-plan cooking and living space is an upscaled version of what they know and love. And there are 3 bedrooms to choose from, including a master ensuite. The enclosed garden offers all the outside space thereafter, and it's located in a secluded setting within a popular village.
Right from the moment we walked through the front gate and saw it was a relatively new property, seeing the size of the kitchen and the living room, and it reminded us of what we've got at the moment.
It takes the bits of the flat that I really like, the open feeling, the light and that sort of aspect about it, which is something that we haven't had in some of the other houses we've looked at.
The gardens, yeah, I mean, it's the ideal size, and we've got plenty of things we can do to it to make it our own.
I think it's definitely something we'd consider.
Have you seen enough?
Yes, thanks. Yeah.
Well, the Mystery House wraps things up, so why don't we find somewhere to sit down and have a chat about the houses we've seen?
Sounds like a good idea.
OK.
It's been a great couple of days, so let's just recap on the properties that we've seen, and let's turn to that 17th century cottage with the thatch in the village.
That house was absolutely gorgeous. I think the garden was nice, the village was lovely. The only issue was it only had the 2 bedrooms.
We don't have to invite anyone down.
No.
And the Mystery House. I had no idea what you were going to make of it before we went in. You seemed to be positive when we looked round it.
Without a doubt, the garden was the best garden we've seen.
Yeah.
And the house itself, it was really nice, but I think just not sure if in our minds we'd already committed to having an older style house.
The bits we liked about it reminded us of where we are now, but we've almost outgrown that.
What was interesting when I first met the two of you was that you were very open to the style of property. So has the search solidified things for you? Has it given you a clearer idea of what it is that you want to find?
I think perhaps it has. Out of the houses we saw, apart from the last one, they did all have that little extra, not character necessarily, but just more of a traditional house, I suppose.
I have a feeling, Sue, that with you, if we could have put a 3rd bedroom on that 17th century thatched cottage, we'd be having a very different conversation now.
I think we would. I think we'd be there, because that was perfect.
Completely agree. Yeah.
So I think that perhaps in your heart, you do know what it is that you hope to find, what that little dream is. We're sure that you're going to end up here in a fabulous house, and we hope that you'll be really happy when you do.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Well, it's the end of our house hunt here in Somerset, and sadly, we didn't manage to find Sue and Mark the house of their dreams. But I think our search helped them to focus on what it is they're looking for in a property. And it also confirmed to them that this is definitely the part of the country they want to call home.
If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.